All right, recording started.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna finish. Yeah.
So come on in, guys.
Come on, guys. Everyone gather.
Gather. So we have who's first?
It is Paul.
All right. So
Jake.
Here's something about me, just so you know. I have to switch my mind from right brain to left brain. I'm in my analytical sort of part of my brain right now. It's coming out, so just bear with me. It's always interesting when I'm adjusting people because when we're working with people, you have to be relational with them. You have to talk to them, and hey, how's your spine doing, all that, and then you come over here and now I'm analyzing, measuring, right? So it's probably going to be if you have just maybe go over there that part of it because we're going to be working around this area, or you can sit here. This is fine too. Just sit on the bench. So who's first?
Jake.
Jake. Oh.
I'm literally pointing to somebody else.
Oh, you got it?
It's okay, Jake. You're being courteous.
You're doing
All right, so his X-rays are on the screen, and he is a type 4. He's a type 4, and which side is he adjusted on? Did anybody pick that up?
On the
right side up. Okay, so we're gonna put him left side down, and so I'm gonna sort of get him in position, and then we're gonna get you adjusting. Huh?
Yeah, Paul's
So
first.
Paul is you're adjusting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So come over on your left hand side down. You come on over, Paul. So back to the whole football thing, I have to get him in a certain position in order to get things to operate for a type 4. It's 4 on C. There's a flat bar that I have him on right now, and I have to move it down towards your feet a little bit. And this is a very specific part. And I'm resting this, basically the superior part of his mastoid on the bar right at a certain place. And I'm not going to go into all that today. Little tidbits are nice. So I have to get his spine perfectly lined up with the EOP, okay? His head is in a nice neutral position. His neck is ready to go. There's not too much tension on the top or the bottom. And this is good for you to know for at home. Not too much tension on the upper or bottom, okay? And then the table is set up for me. A little different height, right? So just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and just test the alignment, and then I'm gonna get you in the position, and I'm going to work with you to adjust. Okay. And so go ahead and put your hands out. And everybody, if you want to just practice again, just the more you do it, the better. So this is the only added thing I'm going to add to, and Andrew alluded to this earlier, is your piezoform on the one hand goes into your anatomical snuff box, which is that little thing. They call it a snuff box because they used to, snort up good stuff back in the day. So you put your piezoform into that snuff box, and then grab your wrist. That's all we're going to need you to do today, okay? Arms out, nice and straight. Good. And then I'm going to have you wrap your thumb on the outside, just like that, and just go with that, okay? That's perfect. So I'm going to measure out. I need a tape measure. Thank you. So we're measuring up on the listing on the right-hand side. See how it says RH1, A 3.25, high? Those are inch measurements, okay? So we're gonna measure up high, 1 inch, anterior, 3.25, just like a toggle listing. So high 1, anterior 3.25. And when you measure, you're measuring a vector, okay? So this vector, I'm gonna show you the full vector. This is the vector.
So if you're going up one, then you have the other one going to it, and you're doing the trigonometry.
Exactly, hypotenuse.
Yeah.
And so do you see how it goes right through my legs? I position myself right through my legs. The other part of this is, they say the Episterol Notch, everybody's a little different, but we're gonna start from right here. The Episterol Notch should be right over that point where I measure. I'm taking an anatomical, anatomy point, it's right at the lateral canthus of his eye, just a little bit low. If people have little freckles on them or little spots, and you measure it, you can put the tape measure away, pretty much you're ready to go. So now I'm in position. I'm going to use that adjustment position in my hands. I'm going to lead the adjustment so the atlas sits right there. And can you pull up move the lateral cervical over so they can see this? We use BBs to measure out where your contact point is. So blow that up for me. See those BBs on there? Mm-hmm. So we know that his atlas TP is right behind the lower earlobe of the baby. So right here is just right behind there, and that's where his atlas is. But when I adjust, if I'm on an angled vector like this, it's not just like a straight down linear thing. Angled vector is, this is my angle for my Episterol Notch. You gather that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I come in to adjust, look at my arm angles. This is the force coming through. You're gonna bring your chest up, and you're gonna contract those rhomboids, and he's gonna hear a little noise, so be silent so he can hear it. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Hear that little click?
Yeah.
Hold on to that noise, okay? So now your turn. Drum roll, please.
When it's going on, you hear like a little.
So we're gonna measure, so his point is right there, okay?
Okay.
This is where you are, just get in position with your feet. Just get in position with your feet on that line, and step back about 3 inches.
He's gonna have his hands on to show you how much
Go to that way a little bit.
Pretty cool.
And that's gonna go right through the mouth, okay? So you square your pelvis on the adjustment. So now go ahead and settle back, which is what you call that. And so for you guys, I'm gonna keep the table high because of hamstring flexibility or lack of, okay? So the angles that we're dealing with here, this is the vector line, okay? So you can imagine that's what's happening. Your point here is gonna be right over this point right here, and your hands are gonna reach out to this point. So just reach out to there. Okay, and not yet, but you're gonna contract these in just a second, okay? And I'm gonna help you find that spot. You're gonna come in, and now you're very heavy, right? You feel, I know you probably feel like, oh, this is light. So it's a matter of just grazing on there. Right there, now contract here a little bit. Just really slow and light. Do you hear that? Jack? What is it? Jake.
Not really.
Okay, go ahead and squeeze here. Did you hear that?
I heard that one.
He's adjusting this person to good adjustment right now. I feel it through my hands as he's adjusting.
Someone call my mom real quick.
Somebody take a picture, guys.
Of the refrigerator.
Do this, squeeze. And you see how he's like forcing it like that one moment? That one moment, you just have to just think about where you want the bone to move. And you're doing a couple more. Jake, you hear that?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing nothing.
That's the key. So now this is the cool part, okay? You just adjusted. I know you did, because I've been doing this for so long. I can actually feel it through your hands.
So is that what that noise is, like when he hears that click?
You just moved it. So now go ahead and sit up at the end of the table and then feel your neck. Remember I told you to remember what they felt like before. So go ahead and feel his neck, whichever side you want to be on.
I did it on the left.
And Jake, give him some feedback. How does it feel?
Feels fine.
Yeah.
Let me feel. You see how neutral that is? Any tenderness anymore?
No.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So it blows your mind away, especially if you come from a full spine background, right?
Yeah.
And if you have that mindset, you gotta move that
You're
bone.
like, what?
You just move the bone using science and physics, engineering. It's totally different. So I hope you go to bed just wondering what the hell
that was
happened.
crazy. That was weird.
Isn't that cool? So your turn.
You want to see his shoulders on the mirror real quick?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
See the line right there? Yeah, there's a line. So, how do his shoulders look now?
Pretty
Right?
Like, how's his head look? Check his hips.
That looks fine.
So back to my question. What was my question? Is this a full spine technique?
Hips are even too. Wow.
Good job.
How do you feel?
How you doing?
Say the front office.
Alright, so now we're gonna set him up. You got the other one up there?
This is for Paul.
Alright, so Paul, you are a 1B, type 1, and it's gonna be high 3.5, posterior 2.75. So we measure high 3.5 and posterior 2.75.
On
Okay.
the left.
You are left side up.
He was anterior, right?
Yes, exactly. So you're left side up. Okay. So now with the type 1, we use the B position in the headpiece, and we use the lateral canthus of the eye. This is center. So we were on the type 4, we were down here. We're using the lateral canthus of the eye to balance his head on the board. So I'm going to get him all in position. Go ahead and come down. As a lot of my colleagues would say, everything's about the setup, and when by the time you adjust, you just breathe on the patient. I mean, just like a whisper, and then it goes. Okay, so now he's in a good position. Nice and relaxed there. It's like setting up a really good golf shot, you know?
It's terrible with those.
So we're gonna measure high, and I'm gonna get in there first. I'm gonna come right there where you are in just a second. So you just step that way just a little bit. 3.7, 3.5, right?
Yeah. And then 2.75.
And if we're off an eighth of an inch, it doesn't even move. Do you know that?
So because it's posterior, you're going to be standing behind him this time.
Yep. And you see my vector, how different it is?
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Totally different. Okay. Every person is a thumbprint. Who has the same thumbprints in here? Nobody, right? So every misalignment's unique and different. And if you're off a little bit, as much as I gotta do this. Can I see your keys, please? Do you mind if I do something with them? Or are they?
Save.
So-
So we walk, so.
I'll remeasure. I love this in school. I didn't realize I loved it until I was in practice. I thought it was stupid. What's the law of this?
Gravity.
It's gravity. I was trying to figure out a rig system that I can actually do magic and I could drop them and have them zip back up because I want to defy gravity. But the thing is, we can't defy that principle, right? If you can help the body, this is what drove me nuts in school. I had guys say, if you don't work on one side, flip them over on your side and just adjust them. Any adjustment's good in chiropractic. I'm not kidding you. That was philosophy like the first quarter. Drove me nuts. It's like nails on a chalkboard. It's, ugh. So with this work, you can do good things, just like we did for Jake, but you can also hurt them. And I want you to understand that is, if we can change neurologically to make them better, we can also do the wrong thing to make them worse. So there is a built-in checks and balances within NUCCA. It's like, but it's amazing to see the results that you can see. Okay, so I'm just gonna check it one. So Polly, listen for the click. There. You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So now we're gonna get you in the position.
All right.
And that last measurement is just to get your vector.
That's to get your vector. And understand, and that's a great question, Dr. Mullican just asked, is that vector, so you're just sort of, doesn't matter. So you want to have your legs perpendicular, okay, bend over in your new position. Just go ahead and keep your knees straight, lean over, arch your back, and then put your chest out. Okay.
He's too far back.
Like holding it.
No, he's up there. It's like balance on your feet, back and forth. Step forward just like here. Keep your knees straight. And this is where it's going to get interesting. Because you're going to start getting a little tight in the hamstrings. And then contact. And action. Okay. So what you're going to do is contract this in just a second. Okay. Just squeeze there just slightly. There it goes. I'll let you hear that. He's had about 5 or 6 clicks right now.
Yeah.
I do want to tell you something. I'm very, if you haven't noticed, I'm very passionate. I love teaching. I love helping people learn this work. But what you realize, some people don't feel this for about a year, the actual clicking. And he may not be feeling it. Do you feel a click or release? But what he knows, he has feedback from the patient, and based on what I just showed him. So he's adjusting right now, even if you don't know he did it.
How many times do you do that? Like, what determines it?
Until it's done.
Until you don't real quick?
Yes. That's the easy answer. Okay, come on up. So, so what he was asking is a good question. There's a place of homeostasis. It's a place where the atlas is just floating. Feel straight. Go ahead and feel a second at the end of the table. There's a point where there's a balance of that atlas. So subluxation is a resistance. It's a stuck position, and we measure that stuck position. Once we release that pressure and it goes back in position, that bone just floats nice and evenly in there, and that's where we stop. You can go more, and that's the thing you're like resisting.
Yeah.
All full spines are done if you want to pull them up.
Awesome. Cool.
Still feels a little, but everything low, like below, feels fine.
How do you feel? Perfect. What a different neck. What do you think, Ollie?
I think it's good.
That's awesome. So it's very cool. Awesome. All right, who's up next? Andrew. Okay.
Oh, you're doing me.
Everyone wants to take a picture from this angle.
He does.
Picture from that
So
angle.
Andrew is this is his films that we've had on him, but he's a left listing also. He's high
I'm type 4.
2, posterior 4.75, type 4, superior torque. We haven't even gotten the torque yet, but 4 on C. So
So what are the different types?
what are the different types?
Yeah, like there's type 1 through 4, but like what does each type tell you?
Yeah, that's good. So we did a study that categorizes all types of misalignments. I don't know how many thousands of films that NUCCA analyzed, and they came up with 4 different basic types, and then within there's subcategories of atypicals. And we have atypicals in here. We have type 2s, 1s, and 3s. We don't have a 3. That's the only one we don't have. But it tells us how the adjustment's going to respond
Okay.
based on. It gives you a high probability of how you're going to adjust and what's going to happen. How you position the head in relationship to the neck, to the atlas. So when we get that right vector and we have the headpiece and everything set up properly, all the mechanics start working.
Can you determine that with the x-rays, I see?
Gotcha.
In the manual, it shows a lot. Like, you'll see like the lever versus where the fulcrum is, and those will change around depending on the type. It's interesting.
So this is high 2, posterior 4.75. This is the vector. I already know my son, so you already know the clicking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're going to come in and get perpendicular to that with your feet. So you see how that line vector? Turn your right foot down. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So right there is where you're going to go ahead and bend over like we talked about. A little bit more. Good. And then arch your back, chest up. Move forwards about 1 inch and 2. There it is. There it is. A little more. There's good. And then settle back more. And now again, hamstrings are really tight on him. So again, flexibility, if you want to do this work, I can give you stretches and all that. But what you're going to do is get your hand in position right there. You're going to, in just a second, contract here, but keep your arms straight. It all comes from here, and no forearm pushing. Lighten up a little. And now squeeze right here a little bit. Did you hear that, Andrew? Squeeze here.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
You have some good NUCCA doctors in here.
It feels really good. It's actually going really nicely.
Andrew should know. His first injury, what was it? Tilt-a-whirl? Sister and creamed you in the Tilt-a-whirl? They thought it'd be really fun to like on the centrifugal force. My daughter and her friend to slam them and squeeze them to the side of the thing. You know how that goes. See his face getting red?
Yeah.
That's the vertebral arteries opening up and also vagal response. You're natural, Zach. That's awesome.
Yeah, really, you're doing a great job, man.
You notice how your legs are starting to shake?
Yeah.
See how he's getting hot? Okay. I used to sweat over patients. It was so embarrassing the first year.
Dang.
Yeah. Check them out. I used to be over here like Hey, go ahead and get out, you know.
Lightheaded.
You have to scoot around and
So see how like, yeah, my face gets really red, this usually is how I
And I
respond.
can feel it's warmer.
My face
on
got
this
really
side.
red. It's definitely
Do you
warmer.
feel that? Do you feel anything yet?
No.
You just double check. There it is.
Wow.
Good job, Jay.
Alright, let's switch it up. Zach's up. So what type is he, guys?
He is a one.
Type 1? And then it's 1 on B. So this is going to be, again, the lateral canthus of the eye. So we're going to measure high. What are we going to measure? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Zach, you're going to go down.
high
7.5
So
up
up.
And
0.25
left
back.
side up.
Yeah, left side up,
Yeah, left side.
right
up.
side down.
So I'm going to set him up in position, okay?
Yeah. Wow.
So this is lined up with below the lateral.
All
canthus?
this tension here was just now too. So I've been having. Felt it.
That's APULVVA.
Posterior. Yeah, high 3.75, posterior and a quarter.
So you stay in the spot right there.
Go ahead and do, you got a lateral cervical, can you pull that for me? Yeah, so his BB is right there, so we'll make patch, his contact points are right there. Okay, and blow it up the knees. So you gotta go up. Okay, so this is, again, this is measuring, this is going into this, but measure up 3.75 here. And you gotta put it here, out to that quarter.
Oh.
Right here. Yep. And then the quarter inch is right there. Well, let me just double check.
Yeah, I was just curious.
3.75.
Yeah.
And then right here. And that's your vector.
Okay.
So the point's there, so move your body perpendicular. And this is gonna be interesting, because you have to really navigate around the table sometimes. Sort of straddle the table like that, arch your back, keep your legs straight, and that looks good there, okay? Sorry, sorry. So get your contact, pop your chest, and come up a little bit. No, don't move, yeah, and did you change a lot?
No.
Okay. So you see what I was saying, like he can't move once he's in there because this is the vector, right? Stay nice and light.
Yep.
When you come in, just a second. I never adjusted you, did I? Here, let me do that first. Because I want him to hear the noise.
Yeah.
Come right there, bud. Okay, you hear that little noise?
Mm-hmm.
That's the move. That's what you want to feel, okay? A little wild. Stay right there.
Yeah.
So go ahead and move forwards. You got forwards there. All right, straighten your legs. That's good. That's good there. And then just lighten up on that, the downward pressure, okay? It's gonna be very glorious.
Yeah.
Like if I let you go, see how you come on?
Yeah.
Just nice, gentle. Okay. Just. Contract right here. Do you hear it, Zach?
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing about working with buddies is you get feedback until you start feeling it yourself. Can you feel it, Andrew?
A little bit. Just after doing it at mom that one time.
Yeah. A little bit more. Okay. All right, let's get him up. Let's check him. See his face, how red it is.
That's crazy. Mine was like
kind of feel a rush.
It is a
Yeah,
rush
well,
because you
it's
just,
Yeah.
it's neurologically free and then, and you get more blood flow to your brain.
Let's have
And it's
you.
like, I saw that in you when I was checking the posture. I see.
You also, you can look at the leg lengths on it.
Bang your head on the
Balance
books too
out
much,
too.
you know?
Well, you know, it doesn't help that we're playing Kids on our phones like this. That's all it is.
All right, who's up next?
Are we doing full spines at the end?
If we have time.
Just wanna check.
Yeah, and we're gonna get their films for them at some other point, but just,
Just
I
wanted
just
to
wanna make
confirm.
sure people get their hands. So who's up next?
Yeah.
It goes next.
Just get after. Just so you know, I was really hurting all week.
All right, there it is. All right, so what type is she?
She is.
One, she's a one on B. Yes. It's the same one that we took films with and that we checked posture with. Does that make sense?
Whatever number you want.
You're number three, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever works.
For me to get it balanced out too.
Wait, who felt her neck?
He felt it, but I took x-rays with him.
Yeah, look over here. All right, so it's one on B. Andrew, could you step just a second?
Yeah.
There you go. Just need to get the, okay, so she's the left side, so it's left side up. High what? 4. And then what's the rotation?
5.75.
Which way?
Back.
Posterior, yeah. And then superior torque. So come on over on your side.
Oh, that's torque.
Yeah, that's torque.
Torque A.
Just so you guys know, a lot of times, so I don't know if you ever said this, but when you come in, it helps you have x-rays done. I find with what I do now, it's not as lush. It's important because I know what I'm feeling, but
You
it
don't
does
get this
relax
every
the whole
time.
spine. Like she's in perfect position for it, so.
It's usually like you get one,
So I'm gonna measure,
Do the same adjustment
and
then?
then
unless they get an accident or something.
I'm gonna go
For
ahead
like,
and,
what, a month or?
Usually likes to
Let you hear it,
in
okay?
the same spot. Unless some.
you're gonna hear a little clicking noise.
So
You hear that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So,
Your eyes right
do you
away when
see how
that.
she smiled with that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's, see how light it was?
Mhm.
Okay, so go ahead and get in position. And then a little bit more on the right foot inward. There you go. Okay, now bend back. And then hold your wrist, your pies and claws in your snuff box, and then pull your sleeve up here.
And then usually.
There you go. Excellent. Now bend down. And you'll see sometimes shoulders gets in the way. With women, you want to be careful of breast tissue. You don't want to, like, you know, bump in. So it's sort of like you can just sort of relax it a little bit there. Sort of, you can hold on the shoulder, but you just don't want to affect the patient in an uncomfortable way. So in just a second, we're going to contract here, okay? Come down. And see how you're pulling back on me? See how just go in the direction I'm sort of going. Right there, that's good. Okay, now contract here. Contract here. And try to just relax. I know it's hard to not bite yourself in this work. There you go. Did you hear that?
Mhm.
Feel good? Look at that. You're rocking it. Yeah, that smile's coming.
Mhm.
See how he's in the groove now? Can you feel it? You can feel it. Good.
The blood is rushing back.
Okay, good job. Awesome. Do you feel how you fought it? So it's like push-pull. Then I said just, you see how you're pulling back. I let you come in and you started relaxing and then it just started going. Hey, Amy.
Hi, just wanted to say hi.
Hey, this is my wife, Amy.
Hi.
I just came to get masks.
Oh, cool.
Because I'm going to the Fox Theater
Oh.
and I have masks.
Did you bring
Have
Marcus?
a great time.
Thanks.
Did you bring Marcus?
To the Fox, no.
Amy, we have had, how many people have adjusted NUCCA so far? 5, 6?
Awesome.
And it's awesome.
Exciting. Awesome,
So,
have fun.
how much should I send, like a bill wise?
Yeah.
Oh.
What I make him better than me.
What is it? I feel like
Like
I think
70, 80 bucks?
How's it feel now?
I'm strictly cash.
You pay for his lunch
Isn't that
and pay
cool?
for yours.
Oh, that works.
Because you'll probably drink, he probably won't, so.
That's awesome. So, good job. That's awesome. So we'll switch.
No, what word?
Back to your question. So I'll tell you my caseload, my first day, average case cost is $800 to $900 for the first day. And that's my whole evaluation, my first adjustment.
And
that's what
x-rays and all that.
And x-rays.
And stuff.
And that's what people will pay because of the work we do.
Yeah.
You're gonna put up the next one. But then my adjustments like 68 now.
68.
Yeah.
$68.
You take insurance, I assume?
Nope, cash practice.
Cash?
Yeah, but we file insurance for everybody.
Yeah.
And we get them paid what they have coming to them.
Mhm.
But nowadays market is so interesting because deductibles are like 3,000, 5,000, even if they have insurance, they really cover certain
Yeah.
things. So we found that we're in this like sweet spot. It's really just, it works really well so far. Left side down is going to be Luis.
For cervical
Yeah.
cash.
You like Luis or
Does
Luis? Luis, yeah, that's what I thought.
Louis?
So ready?
Luis
Lou?
Slay.
Lou?
Louis Slay. Louis Slay.
Okay, come on over. So we're gonna measure what? Tell me guys.
You're gonna go
Up
to
I
2.5
5.5.
and 5 in the front.
5.5.
Yeah. So this is her angle. And see how everything changes each patient? So now we're over here. Okay.
Oh, he's right side up.
So you ready? You listen for the little
Should
voice.
pay extra for
Do you hear that little click? Is that yes?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. So let me just get you measured here. It's 5.5, right? Okay, so go ahead and line your feet up perpendicular to that line. So your right foot comes forward a little bit. There you go. And that's the position. Now bend back. Chest up. Arch your back a little bit. Good. And that's going to be move forward just a hair of your feet. Just right foot, left foot. So keep it perpendicular. That's good right there. No, there. That position. Now step back about half an inch with both feet. There you go. Now straighten your legs. Grab your hand.
This one or
Whichever one you want. We're not gonna worry about that today. Okay. You can see contacts. I'm sorry. Okay, thanks. So in just a second, you're not contract here, just like that, okay? But we're gonna get you in position so you can feel it. Contract. There it goes. Did you feel that?
Mhm.
Luis, you hear that? There's the finger. Isn't that cool? You feel it moving? Contract. There it goes. Did you see how when you contracted it went?
Mhm.
Contract. It wasn't
You guys notice how like precise it is in a lot of these full spine atlas adjustments where we're just like, okay, you just go in it from this way. Yeah, just send it. Just P to A. Just P to A.
Honestly, I don't know. I just picked it up over time.
What?
Go heavy,
Yeah.
I just take it.
So when you contract the
Take
wrong
it.
voids, you're reducing the pressure,
Go
right?
and check this next. What's that?
When you contract the wrong voids, you're actually reducing the pressure?
Yes, reducing the pressure of what?
On the atlas.
You're actually, okay, so think of pinchers like this. This is your rhomboid or scapula, but the rhomboids are in between. So when you contract this, it actually does an excursion to the arms.
Oh, okay.
So you see that?
Pushes it out.
But I hate to use that terminology because I don't want you to push.
Okay.
Because you guys do enough pushing, we gotta go opposite. I have to say pull, right?
Right.
So when you pull, it actually is a mini excursion and then
Oh, okay.
it's like breaking the
different, right? You kind of lightheaded after. Yeah.
So the key to the adjustment is this.
Yeah.
I could tap that pillow and it's not moving. I'm hitting it right now, okay? I can put my hand against it and it's not moving, I'm putting pressure. As I put pressure in there more and more, it's gonna go release. More pressure, release. More pressure,
Okay.
release. And I'm barely touching it, but it's just building up that pressure. You can do the same thing with the adjustment. I could be here and contract and it's gonna come to the point where it's gonna release. And I didn't really do much, but I'm just doing that little extra. It's potential energy turned into kinetic energy.
Gotcha.
Okay. How'd it go? How'd it feel? Good?
I felt like I had a ball before, and now it was good.
Awesome. Who's up now?
Steven.
Steven!
Oh man, Steve.
All right, and Brooke, you're up, right? So, you know, left side up, so call it out. No, everybody.
Left side out.
Half inch low.
What's the number?
Ooh.
I wanted to see if you guys pick it up. Okay?
Low?
Low, 0.5.
Huh.
Anterior to inferior torque.
So that means
Does
you
that have
go.
anything to do with like the reverse curve?
You drop.
Yeah, it has to do with your type of misalignment. Most type 2s will be a low listing, so we've been measuring high all the whole time. But on the quotation grid system, there's a low on the plane of the y axis. So what we're trying to do is measure what angle that will take care of your whole misalignment. Type 2s are different. We're going to use the headpiece different. So I'm have a round headpiece here and a flat here. So we're going to have to switch this around to the other side. We're going to use different leverage points for this adjustment. The angle has to be low in order to get the head and atlas to do what they're supposed to do. That's really the basics of it. But come on over on your right side down. Okay, and then his mastoid is going to be sitting on this. He is the most uncomfortable part of the headpiece that we used. It's going to be right on that ridge.
That piece is like flat. There's little ridges at the edges. That's where he's setting them on.
It hurts.
It does, yeah. And type 2s are people don't like being adjusted on this headpiece, but we're using it as leverage points. Okay, so we're going to measure what? Low point 0.5, anterior 2, and then we're going to come down here and look at my position, guys. You're in front now. Yeah. No, my butt is right in front of you guys. So I'm going to let you hear it. And there it goes. You hear that? Okay. So measure low 0.5. That was 2. And then this right there. Okay. This is where you want your Episterol Notch. So come down here, perpendicular, and keep your feet a little closer. In the center of your hips, center of your pelvis should be right here. My hand is. Keep on moving to your right. Just right. Don't twist, but just perpendicular to this one. You see that? And keep moving this way. Right there. Okay, that's good. Now go ahead and bend over. Okay. Just bend over without the hands forward. And now step forward. Now see how it's getting in the way there? You have to tighten your feet up a little more because you have to get around the table. So now bend down right there. Bring this foot right here. Bend down again. There we go.
So you just have to
So you see how your hands moving? I want you to stay steady but loose. Okay? So I'm not coming in.
without getting on the table.
Contraction. Think of a Lego. The force coming right through the middle. A little more gentle. Just contract it. Pre-contract it a little bit. Just contract it and then hold it there. Now give it a little extra, just a little slower contraction. There you go. Steven, did you hear that? Do it again. Not so bursty. Nice and gradual up to the end, and then just a little bit extra. There you go. How's it going, Steven?
Good.
There we go. Keep your head straight. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just try to relax. Alright, we're gonna stop there. So, this is NUCCA. Wears you out. Right, so you're using all those big groups of muscles and doing that. So let's feel his neck and see. How's it now? Go ahead and feel.
So you pretty much need x-rays for all of this.
Pretty much. I'm gonna open this up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, interesting analogy. Pull it like this.
Isn't that cool? Good job, bro. Alright, ready? So it works out.
I get it too when this.
What type of misalignment is she? Oh, look at that, type 2, another one. And what's her listing? Oh, you got
Low.
You got a
There we
low.
go.
Down 1.5.
Now 1.5, right?
Point back.
Back
Those two.
5.5. Which side were you adjusting on?
Go
left side.
Left side. So go right side down. Uncomfortable.
Left side up, just head for lunch.
Just let it just rest.
Bills for lunch, left side up.
So I'm gonna let you hear it first. So just check my position, Stephen, and just, you're gonna mimic this in just a second, okay? And that goes for everybody else, just to watch what I do when I set up. You're gonna try to get in exactly the same position. Here we go. You hear it? So that's right there, now just settle back. And it's called settling back when you lean forwards. Keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Okay, now step back about an inch, both heels, right there, okay. Grab your hand. And just stay real light. You're a tough man, but make sure you just sort of, see how I let go, see how you push in. So I need you to just sort of balance it. You're in full control, your hands to not move anywhere. Up behind. Pop your chest a little bit. There you go. Squeeze. There it goes. Do you hear that? Did you feel it? And with type 2s, you have to be even lighter than type 1s and 4s. Come on down a little bit there. And right there, you get a little tired. Squeeze one more time. There it goes. All right, good job. Feel her neck. So, Steven's strong. I just saw him do some, I don't know what he did on that pull-up bar. It was some kind of weird sort of dancing on the bar. But when you have strength, you don't need strength to do this work. It's all physics. So, but it's a balance between, like, you want to find yourself in that stable place. Like, I can just hold this position for a while, but I'm not pushing, pulling. But when you get a body under you, it becomes such a different world, you know? Who's next?
Michael.
Right. Michael.
Wait, so how do you say
Pinocchio.
So what's listing?
Right. Right side up.
Yeah, people up a little bit. Right high 1.75.
Posterior.
4.25. So right side up, and he is a what kind?
2.
Type 2. It's almost like we planned this in order or something. You're getting in your way.
No.
Here. So rest it right. Can you go right there? Because I need it right. So I'm going to measure up. High 1.75, posterior 4.2, coming down to that one position. So you're going to be over here with me. And you're going to hear a little clicking. here in this position, so get there as best as you can. Now you notice it's a type 2 that we're measuring high, and that has a lot to do with the anatomy and the spinal structure. Okay, get in that position right there. Settle back, lean back, yeah. Arch your back, yeah, there you go. Move forwards about 3 inches. With your feet. Keep going, right there, it's good. Now arch your back, settle back. Perfect position. Okay. And then, just up. There you go. And in just a second, you're gonna squeeze here. Come down a little more. And right there, now squeeze here. You hear that, Michael? Is that a yes? So now you're trying to push it, just squeeze here. There. You feel those? Good. Whew. That was awesome. So, Francisco, okay. So what Francisco felt, you go ahead and feel his neck while I'm talking. Well, he was, what he did, he was moving around a lot, but then all of a sudden he zoned in. And that's what it takes, like you zone in on a vector. It's like your sights of a gun, I'm not sure if you ever shot a gun, but you have to like really get calm and sight it in. Think about playing a game of pool. You know, Andrew's been playing a lot of pool. I'm not with some of you guys maybe or not.
On the phone?
But you have to get really specific with your shot. Think of it like a pool shot, you know? Way in the middle, okay? Good job.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Ready? Ready, we got the next one.
Let's do it, we should go.
And then we're gonna do the Mullikins next after that, okay?
This is the next one, this is for Francisco.
All right, so we got another type 2. Look at this. Left side up.
Low and A.
Yeah.
Is
And-
Cooley here?
And what's fun about this is you get to see multiple different misalignments and how it changes per patient, right? So this is gonna be low 0.575 and then anterior 2.75. There it goes. You got a little noise. And about right there. There. Is that hard for you to hear? Okay, here, be quiet, really quiet, guys. There. Okay. Now let's come around. So this is where we want to be. So this is going to be a little bit. So we're going to settle back. Bring your hips back, just like we were talking about bending over. Just bend over. Arch your back. Pop your chest. Pop your chest like you're showing off your chest. There you go. Move forward about an inch with your feet. Coming. Right there. So, can you get that out of the way? Yeah, just don't move your feet because we're already set up. There we go. So grab the wrist. And then you're going to contract here just a little bit, but relax. Just enjoy the ride. Contract here now just a little bit. Francisco, do you hear that?
Yes.
Again. Do you feel anything? It's okay if you don't. Contract. You feel it? Good. Contract. Okay, come on up. So you can see the redness in his cheeks. So starting to build there, which is good. Feel this neck, see how that is. And then, what was that?
Oh, Chrissy.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And I have, what's on your mind while you're doing it? What do you think do with that?
I said, what do you mean, like, when I'm adjusting myself or working with you?
When you're doing that, are you thinking of somebody's, a place, like, or is nothing in your head and like?
There's so much in my head, but I'm super focused. It's weird, it's a balance of both. Like, I'm thinking about the vector, like we talked about the pool shot. I'm thinking about staying in that position and relaxed.
Okay.
But you see how much energy it takes just to stay in that position, because you're just like this, you know, imagine 100 patients in a day doing that, okay? Can I feel your neck?
Yeah. I feel like for me, I feel like you too.
And-
Turn up.
And so what I do is, I'm actually visualizing the bone, atlas, the skull. Look at that. How's that feel now? A little different, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So it's a mix between pinpoint accuracy and then actually, I'm thinking about the anatomical structure, the muscles, ligaments, and bones and nerves, like we talked about in the other room.
Because when I was doing it, I was trying not to like let all the weight of my body on him, because that's, I think, the biggest point I was struggling with a little bit. I was like, not too hard, not too like.
Yeah. And then go back to this equilibrium place. It's like no push, no pull. And you gotta be in that individual space. And then once you get to that point where you're in that neutral zone, then you just contract that little bit of rhomboid contraction, and it changes that into kinetic energy. Instead of that potential that's there, now it releases. Okay. All right, you ready for this, sir? I'm gonna bring this up a little bit.
Come on.
Show me how far you can bend over. And without pounding your back.
I don't know how people do this.
Right there. That should be fine. All right, so what do we got? What do we got?
Left side up.
Good job, Jay.
Oh, 0 high.
Yeah, so there's no high at all, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
no high, and then anterior 3, and then an inferior adjustment stance.
Exactly. And what kind of headpiece?
2.
Yeah, it's a 2. Well, 2 is the type, and then it's on BC. If you look at this is
Oh, I see.
my notes, but it says change to the BC.
Yeah, what is
So
it?
the BC is the flat headpiece, but we're gonna be B's the middle, and then we move towards C. That's just because she is a type 2 that she's an atypical type 2, so that's what it is. You're atypical. Come on over here.
And the change must have been after an x-ray or something.
Exactly, we did post change, and then I'm gonna explain that.
So the inferior tip of the mastoid is on the headpiece, or the superior?
This
Huh?
is right on
The edge.
the middle, just north of the center of the headpiece, flat, okay? Because you have to have it sort of go, but the head tilt's not a big player in this one. It's all lower cervical, but you have to have the leverage of the head
Okay.
going at the same time you're bringing up the lower cervical. So 0-3.
So you just measured 3.
Yeah, she already knows what it sounds like, so just go ahead and get in position. Yeah, you measure anterior 3, and it's in line with the heart palate. Okay, so
So
Bend
even though
over.
it says an I, that's straight across?
it's not high, it's a low, high 0 is just anterior 3.
Oh, what's the last letter
That's
after?
torque.
Oh, torque, okay.
Yeah, we haven't talked about torque.
Okay, yeah,
So settle back, arch your back, pop your chest. Move forwards a little. And now arch your back more, you go down lower.
Mhm.
Okay, keep on going. Right there. You're gonna contract your just a little bit, that's good, start right there, build it up.
It's too hard.
Yeah, I know. Oh gosh, right there, now contract. You hear it done? What's that?
No. It's still too hard.
Just stay right there. Now contract here. you are pushing down towards me. So think about balance up and down. Nice neutral zone, so keep trying in position so you're not pushing on her.
Okay.
But you're just hovering over Atlas.
Okay.
Just stay in that zone. Now contract without pushing it. Don,
I feel it. I feel
did
it.
you feel it, Don?
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you see the difference? It's
Yeah.
subtle. It's so subtle.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna let you go solo for a second.
It's another.
Let's go. Check her. Good job.
That's me adjusting too.
Instant feedback. I'll mention this real quick. Our spouses and our loved ones are the hardest to work on. It's
Amen. Not because they're,
It's true.
it's just because.
We were the guinea pigs most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's just a trust thing, sort of like how, and they know enough to be dangerous too. Dawn knows quite a bit because she's been in this business together for how long now?
33 years.
So, how did it feel afterwards?
Good.
Yeah. So did you feel that balance? So
Oh, yeah.
what we noticed is, which her feedback was perfect, okay, and that's where you want to allow the other person to give you the feedback. I'll give you the sense of where it should be, but if feedback helps the doctor know what they need to start doing. And as soon as I said, I want you to just go ahead and yourself hover over her atlas. That's what made it click for Dr. Mulligan. And then all you had to do is just contract just a little bit.
And then it started going click, 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 click.
I agree with my hearing. I don't hear.
You don't hear it, or you don't even feel it? No, yeah.
So that was good. That was good. All right, you gonna do it?
Yeah, I try it.
All right, cool.
See what I can do.
Good question.
Yes, are you supposed to hear it in the other side as well?
You
or-
can. Yeah. So type 2s you usually hear on the opposite side. Type 1s you usually hear on the same side. Sometimes you can hear it on both sides. And it's all based on where. Remember the pillow?
Uh-huh.
What was holding the pillow in place from you moving it? What was
Friction.
it? What? Friction. Okay. So it's friction that's holding it there, and that's all that physics part of it. What we call friction in NUCCA is resistance. Resistance is a factor in the adjustment that you're trying to overcome from potential energy, right? There's that need for it to move, but then the kinetic energy transition is breaking resistance. That's a term that you'll hear a lot at conferences, but it's breaking the resistance so it releases. Okay? Physics. Huh? Physics. Physics. Yeah, resistance. Yeah.
Like getting past the threshold.
Yeah, exactly. So you're what about? What did we have here? What type?
Type 4.
What's the headpiece?
C.
C. Move that towards your feet. And Don, we're gonna bring the table down for you. And so he already knows what I do too. So we're gonna do high 2.
On purpose?
And we measure everything in conjunction with the heart monitor. So you want to perfect there, then we measure. And then right there, and then there. So this is your point right here, right on his icon. So you're gonna get your body in position with that line. So just go nice and easy and arch your back down. And just in the center, you're just stretching out your position. Whatever you're from that word. That's why. Your chest. They're actually fine for tax. And there, just hover over the Alice and then squeeze here.
Just a good intermittent fasting day.
Yep. That should be your. Did you hear that?
Your reading phrase. Only playing whenever you put in patience.
Can you hear that, Doctor? Is that a grunt? Yes? Okay, good. So you're adjusting it right now.
Your mom. My
Oh.
brother.
Is it just as
Bro, I broke.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
How do you say naturally?
It's almost done. Bingo. All right. right. You guys did awesome. So what do you think? Was it fun to adjust NUCCA for the first time?
Yeah.
Cool. So it's been my pleasure doing this with you guys, and I
Yeah,
hope
thank you so much.
even if you don't do NUCCA, I hope you experience something, and if you have a passion for Thompson or full spine or whatever, now you know if there's a NUCCA doctor or upper cervical doctor in your area, what we do. Send them to this guy, no. But no matter where you go, practice, Puerto Rico or California or whatever, you know now there's other things out there that might be an option if you're finding that roadblock with a patient. Just like if I have something roadblocking, I'm going to send them somebody. So again, I was telling Andrew, he's like, oh, I need to know everything. I need to know everything. I'm out of school. How am I going to know everything? I was like, I didn't know everything. I don't know how you're going to know everything. I mean, whatever. Maybe, he is smarter than me. I can tell you that. I'll give you that. His brain power.
It's not smart. It's on.
Well, okay. I don't know about that. But my hope is that at least you take that on as an option for somebody to get better if you can't help them. It's okay if we can't help them. I have people I can't help. It's humbling. It's very humbling. But if you want to do NUCCA or if you want to experience more, we're going to do another one of these in a month.
Yeah,
What is it?
I already have 4 people who want to do it.
February what?
26.
February 26th. So talk to Andrew and then talk to our office. Andrew is a good resource because he set up a great spreadsheet.
And if anybody comes from this group, you already have x-rays done.
Yeah.
And you probably give them a little bit more
You
tidbits.
could do like a level 2 and like another once, like try to get like 2 like
That'd be
this
cool
kind of
if people
session,
have
and
been
then come to
before.
like a level 2 where it's like you can maybe go around the room and try on other people, or then you could do the full spine that you were looking at, or
Yeah, so we have full spines that we haven't even shown you today. We haven't even done post x-rays. Normally at this point, everybody would get a post x-ray. So just so you know, those people that have x-rays now will get a post next time. So it's not like you're coming up and just doing the same thing. It's hard for me at this level to get you going by yourselves, okay? So just want you to understand that. But we have 5 adjusting rooms here, okay? So this can build over time. You can progress. I'm here for you guys. My wife is like, you love this stuff. I'm like, I do love this stuff. Because I want to, again, not a hidden agenda. I want you to know about NUCCA. I want you to do NUCCA. Yeah, let's do it if you want to do it. If you want to do that, I'm here for you during this time. We're the closest office in the area to really do this stuff, and I'm passionate about it. So just hit me up on it, okay? So good job, guys. You did awesome. Amazing, amazing minds and students and abilities. You all have a really good feel for palpation. You have a great sense for you guys to feel the adjustment. Who felt the adjustment? Sort of? Sort of? Okay. Who heard the adjustment? So you at least heard it, right? That's good. So that's going to build over time. My first adjustment was a veteran from the Army. He was a parachutist. He got caught in another guy's parachute. He fell 1,000 feet free fall. I'm over at the student outpatient clinic. My first patient, okay, we had our own patients then. First patient is a veteran. He's on legalized medical marijuana, antidepressants, narcotic, all sorts of painkillers. His life was ruined. He got, removed from the Army. Now he's here sitting, trying to get help from the student chiropractor. That's me, right? I had to come in there. Hey, I'm just going to adjust your neck. Where's your pain? Low back. This short version. After the first adjustment, all I did was I did what I know to do in my training. Take the x-rays, measure the x-rays, get in the right position, measure that out, and then adjust. And it was the first time I saw a post x-ray go from crooked to straight. I was fortunate to have that experience for the first adjustment. It's not that I felt it perfectly there on after, but it was a fortunate thing for me to see and feel like, hey, this can happen, but I can tell you, I didn't feel the adjustment. I just trusted in the process. So if you don't feel it, trust in the process, the feeling will come later, okay? So, anyway, sweet. Have a good day, rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.